Thanks for tuning into the Pre-Patch Podcast. Check out these patch notes.
Exoprimal. Oh, fuck, I thought I got past the loading screen. God dang it. Hold on.
No, you never get past a loading screen.
Dude, well, I'm going to leave it here so you guys can understand. This
Yeah.
is one of the downfalls to this game is that the loading screen takes forever when you're getting into a match.
It does.
Like,
Yeah.
and then
loading into the game.
every single time you have to listen to this dude talk about, you know, the simulation that you're going to every single time you go into a match.
Wait, it's
which
all
is-
simulation? You're not actually fighting dinosaurs?
No, yeah, it's well, so the PvPvE mode is a war game, so it's a simulation of it. I don't know. I've not played just the PvE version if it actually is.
The PvE version, I think, is like you going in because you've got like alpha T-Rexes and everything like that. Like so far, I don't think we've run into like anything like that in the PvE version.
No.
So.
But essentially, so this game is on Game Pass. That's where I recommend that you highly play this game. It's not bad. Like I want to make sure that
Another Game Pass classic.
Yeah, I want to make sure that I say that they put it out there that the game has some
It's
flaws.
good.
But it's fun.
I enjoy it. Man.
It's okay.
You can't play it
find
because
it
you're
good.
internet.
I did play it. Okay, I'm not like.
I find
my
it
first experience, but I'm not. I don't know. I can't say the game's good.
I personally find it enjoyable. I thought it was like, and this is coming from when I first heard about this game, right? When they did their closed beta or whatever, their open beta, this game gave me like really bad red flags. Like it looked exactly like Anthem. I was really like off put by that for the simple fact that again, Anthem is horrendous. Never fucking play Anthem. I don't even think it's going anymore. I'm pretty sure that they've shut it down.
I think it's been gone for a long time.
Yeah, I think it's been shut down. But do not play Anthem, please. Do not play Anthem. But yeah, when they first released this, I was like, nah, this looks too much like Anthem. I'm not touching it with a 10-foot fucking pole, right? Like going in with it being on Game Pass, that gave me the security of being like, okay, well, if I don't like this, I already have Game Pass, right? Like there's no reason to not try it. When going into it, I will agree with you that like don't buy this game for $60 or for 40. I think it's $49.99 if I'm not mistaken. It's like $50. Do not buy this for $50. Like get it on Game Pass if you have the ability to. Not only for the fact that I don't really feel that it's worth $60, right? It's at best, I would say it's a $20-$25 game, right?
Yeah. When I went into it, I was thinking I was actually gonna like it. I went into some like expectations after seeing Simple. I'm like, you know what? I actually might get into this game.
These T-Rexes have clothes on, or these Raptors have clothes on?
No,
Maybe armor.
Think so?
I don't think so.
They don't have any. There's no.
It looked like it had a little like.
They got fur.
That might have been a summon if you saw like a collar on it. That's a summon. You have like a PvP event that you can summon Carnosauruses or whatever they have.
At first, though, I'm like, I thought this game could maybe go for 40, but at this point, like, yeah, like you said, like,
nah, it's like 20, 25 at most.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I want
to really quickly just to finish off my thought process, right? That not only would I not buy it simply because it's $50 and I don't think it's worth $50, but on top of that, I found out literally just the other day. I was talking to a buddy of ours that Crow Templar. He loves this game. He's been playing it since closed beta. Right. I found out that this game has a like you can play with other people on Xbox, crossplay. Yeah, crossplay and cross platform. You can play with people on Xbox, PC, and Steam. Right. The only caveat to that is if you're on Xbox and Game Pass, if you're on PC and Game Pass, or if you're on Game Pass in general and Xbox, you can play together, you can group up together. If you buy it on Steam, you can't group up with people that are on Game Pass or Xbox.
Yeah.
So
why the fuck would you?
Why? You can still play with weird, them. Man. They're like you'll still see them in the world and you'll still see them in your matchmaking, but you can't group up with them, which makes no fucking sense considering the fact that you still have to make a Capcom account to play it on Steam.
Wait, so you can play with them, you just can't group.
You can play with them, you just can't group with them. So if you have somebody that purchased it on Steam and you have somebody that's playing it on Game Pass, you can play with each other if you're lucky enough to get in the same lobby with each other. But you can't group with each other.
Rocket League used to be. Except back then, that was like crossplay was brand new back then. Nowadays, everything is like crossplay.
Can the PlayStation player base play with the
PlayStation player base?
Is
I
it
believe
console or fine, but it's just the PC.
Oh no, there isn't a PlayStation. This isn't on PlayStation, is it?
It is
I
on
don't know.
PlayStation.
I didn't think it was. Maybe it is. I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
would assume as such because I'm pretty sure that it said that any of the consoles can play with each other.
Yeah,
and,
it's
and
on
the PC.
PS4 and
I mean,
PS5.
that sucks
Yeah.
though, because like that a huge their player base is huge on the Xbox Game Pass, and that just
Yeah.
alienates anybody who got it on
dude.
Steam.
Well, and it,
Well,
it
I mean, you still
alienates
play with
it,
it.
it
Not
alienates
everybody, but-
myself. It alienates myself mostly because I wanted to play the game specifically because Crow had it, and I was kind of excited to play with the Crow.
Well, he
Right?
can't. I heard he can't play with like anybody because all of his friends got it on Game Pass.
Everybody got it on Game Pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, someone needs to tell Crow stop. Why would he buy the
Well,
fucking game?
no. He didn't buy it. He got.
Oh, got
I'm
gifted.
pretty sure
gave
you
him
got
a
it
key.
Oh,
They
for
gave
a
him a
key,
key.
yeah, for covering it.
He's
but-
got his plugs.
Well, so I want to give some context as to what this game is because we went straight into like the game, you know, and worth value, whatever. So it's a 5v5 PvE and PvE mode. The thing that I was kind of deterred about was because I thought that the PvP mode was going to be a more engaged, like you are actually going to fight the other team and you're just gonna have to deal with these kind of dinosaurs. That's not what this is. So you have
No.
5 mechs. You have it's kind of think of like take like Overwatch like classes with tank, support, and DPS. Mix it in with EDF or Earth Defense Force if you remember that game. And add an element of kind of Destiny's Gambit style all together, and that's what it is. You have, and the cool things that you can do, like you pick a mech at the very beginning and you level up your exosuit, and you can switch the exosuit mid game. So like if we're
That's
in the middle of a match.
That was one of the ones that impressed me, was just being able to, like, most of these games, like obviously I'm pretty sure you can switch in mid game in like in Overwatch, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things I was really impressed about in
They
general.
had
Was
roles
like
though. In
they did
Overwatch,
have
there was
well they have
in
roles here
this,
as well.
But you can switch to any different role in this.
Right.
Yes, you can.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It wasn't
those roles didn't come in until recently, right? Like before the
been a while
tank
now.
switch. Yeah.
But
honestly. It's been a few years, but yeah.
The other side of it is that you have like, so they have an element of like the hero shooter kind of thing where you have your classes. You also can you level up your mech. You can add these mods in where they'll give you different things like specific to like your person, like a sniper can get extra damage, or you can get stuff that's like, hey, I regenerate health a little bit faster. That's generic. You can level those up. The one thing I do not like is that they don't give you the ability to actually like change out weapons. I understand why, but like I would like the ability to be able to say like, oh, I want to put a different type of sniper on this person. Like you're locked into that. The other thing too that you have is like you have these ultis, but personally, because of the way that the game is set up, like you'll basically all go through this entire first wave of missions, and then you get to the final mission, and that's where you'll engage the enemy. They'll either get what's called a dominator, which allows them to summon a big dinosaur over to your side to try to stop you from thank you, to try to stop you from completing your objective, or you'll engage with them directly in a certain type of map, but you save your ultis basically for that moment. Like there's really not a point
for the PvP
to do it. But what I'll say is the game does have, like right now you're seeing us fight a Triceratops. As you progress through the game, you get to face we had like an Ankylosaurus, we had like a T-Rex, there were raptors, there were Carnosaurs, the one guys that like spit, or whatever else like we had never seen. They add all these different dinosaurs, which was really dope. Again, the game is fun to play. Like it's not enjoyable.
Honestly, I was talking to Sin about it. Like this game is the first game that I've actually enjoyed the PvP on in a long time. Like I'm usually not a person that likes to play PvP games, but just because
there's only like 10% PvP in this game.
It's very true.
Yeah. Which is one of the things I would say I'd like for them to add is a mode that is a little bit more PvP focused. I don't want it to originally
the game was all PvP. That like the original version of the game in the closed beta, if I remember correctly, was complete. There wasn't any PvE. Yeah, Crow was talking to me about it, and he was saying that he was glad that they added in the PvP or the PvE. Because prior to that,
I don't
there
mind,
was no option.
Like this mode to me is this one that we're playing here, which is like a secure and capture 3 points, is in my opinion one of the fun, like more fun modes because you get to engage the enemy a little bit more. There's one where you're each pushing a payload to a center point. That one is a little bit less like fun because you're just kind of like, all right, well, I'm sitting here and basically
you don't actually engage until like the very end.
Right. So you're not really seeing it, the enemy that much. So, but I would like to see them add a mode that is more PvP focused, but has still the dinosaur element into it, or at least make this mode where you have you engage the enemy on a more consistent basis. Like you're not just waiting to get to the final mission and that's where you engage the enemy. But I don't know. The game is fun. It is like I have to say it is a fun game. Yeah, it's an enjoyable time. It is not $60.
The only complaint that I have is that I feel like they released with not enough not enough classes. But then again, I asked you about it the other day and I was like, what how many classes or characters did Overwatch originally release with? And I think you said
12.
like 12.
Yeah, it was 12 characters.
Yeah, which is two more than what this game released with. So I mean, the only thing that I can say is like, yeah, that would be my biggest complaint is like add in more characters to give a little bit more variety. And then like I actually do agree with you, Sin, in saying that like if you're gonna add in a PvP game like mode, like actually add in a PvP mode. Like this version right here, I actually had fun with these, just like you did with the point capture.
Yeah.
But it's very boring for the most part.
I was gonna say, and I'll ask this instead. Do you guys think that this game is gonna have any longevity? Because personally, I don't think there is gonna be.
The issue that I see is like I think
just no.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say no. Like they have a pretty decent roadmap. Like they've already announced
with it being on Game Pass as well.
Longevity that is not just a battle pass with challenges.
Has there been a live service game that has actually thrived on Game Pass so far though?
Other than Fortnite,
couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and look.
Oh, you said. Oh yeah, Game Pass now.
I don't.
Because that's my biggest issue with it is the fact that it's an always online thing. It's one of those live service games, and those have been traditionally not well received and have not. They haven't had much longevity. They've been like the most successful one we've seen recently. Not something like this, but like Multiverses came out. It had a live service model, and it's now dead. We haven't seen one last more than a couple years at max recently.
Well, so even just to say that, so
it's the same red flag that we're having from like Suicide Squad coming out soon. That.
Well, I mean, I'll counter that. Like, I don't really think that live services are ever really designed to last for more than a couple of years. Like, there's a certain point at which, and granted, there are live service games out there that do it, like Destiny and everything like that, right? But like these kinds of games, I don't really think that their game plan is to be a dominant force in the gaming industry for 7 to 10 years. Like I'm pretty sure that this game,
just to be honest, I don't even see it lasting for 2 to 3 years.
That's what I was about to say. If this game, I think that if they can get 2 to 3 years in it, that's a successful run, in my opinion.
That's even pushing it for my thoughts here.
I don't know.
Second, you guys need to brush up on your dinosaur knowledge. You called that thing a triceratops. That is not a triceratops. That's a Zuniceratops. Okay. So,
well, it says triceratops.
3.
It says triceratops whenever.
Oh, then Capcom messed up and they didn't feel bad.
I'm not a diniophile here.
I actually think that's a Carnosaurus. Honestly, if I'm not mistaken, that's a Carno.
No, not that one. The one before that we had.
Oh, before that,
yeah.
I just think that they're gonna rely so heavily on the look and the flashiness of this game. They already have put way more effort into the flashiness and all the aesthetics and everything than the actual gameplay itself.
I also think that they're relying entirely too heavily on classes being very similar to Overwatch classes, because each of these classes, there's a Roadhog, or not a Roadhog, there's a Reinhardt.
I'm not even mad about that because literally
the one that Sin's playing, which is the sniper,
game does it now. It's not even. I mean, I'm mad that every game does it, but like in this case, like I don't care. That's not what I'm looking at. It's just like they put so much effort into it. It was exactly like we said, like veiled experts and veiled experts.
No, for sure.
They're just playing so heavily, and in the end, I just think that this game is just going to be.
I'm enjoying it.
A cosmetic farm and microtransactions. I don't think there's anything that's going to go past that. Like it just doesn't have that in it, in my opinion.
No, I do have to tend to agree with you that and only time will tell. Like I said, if they can push out more frames or whatever they call them, more of the robots, I forget what they call them. And they can push them out exos. If they can push out exos on a regular basis and they're decent, the game might last. Like obviously, I think it's going to be a very niche player base, but if they can continue to pump out content, if they can continue to pump out PvE content, as well as PvP content, they could go into raids, everything like that. If they can do that, again, they might have a 2-3 year 2-3 years of content if they can push it. But whether it's built to be a game that can last for 10 years, no, not even close. Like obviously, like there's no way,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think you'll get a year. I think you'll get some time.
I think you'll definitely get a year. I would say at least 2. Just simply because again, it's Game Pass. You'll have a very
they have
dedicated Game Pass player base.
I was gonna say, and they probably signed some sort of contract. They probably have to go at least like a year or two.
It's crazy to me that Capcom signed or that Capcom has a game on Game Pass. That's crazy to me.
Again, they're also using this as a marketing platform because they have a lot of cross marketing. Like there's a Monster Hunter
True, they do. Yes.
Crossover that's happening. There's a fucking Street Fighter 6 crossover that's happening with this.
Yeah, like a football thing going on right now.
Yeah, they're kind of like using this as like a platform to promote their other games. So,
but that's Capcom. Honestly, like that's Capcom.
Capcom
is king.
They have that universe.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, like if that, like honestly, it's an easy way for them to pump out characters. Yeah. You know, like if I get to have, like this could be. You think about Fortnite, right? Like Fortnite has become successful because we've got like these things that are
the multiverse shit.
Yeah, the multiverse where like Master Chief is fucking shooting up whatever. Yeah, like Travis Scott and Master Chief's in there with Kratos and all this other kind of crazy shit. So it hey, like if I can have Ryu dragon punching a fucking what would you say it was? Not a triceratops, a xenoterasops, whatever fucking it is, like whatever. Like, yeah, dude, I'm down. Like, if I can have a Monster Hunter character in there, like, sure. Like, just dump DMC in there, dump whatever Capcom, fucking, whatever you got, man. I'm down for it.
Sure. Devil May Cry. My mind meant to DMCA. I'm like, what?
Two last things that I wanted to bring up with this before we move on. One, we were talking about longevity of the game. I've pulled up the Steam charts of it, and I know Steam charts is a very small section of this game's player base.
Especially for this, yeah.
But it's already lost 50% of the Steam chart player base. It peaked at 4.5K. It's sitting around 2.5.
I think a lot of that
does say though is people. Well, there's two things: is people bought the game and it's like, this is not a $60 game, refund, and then people bought the game and was like, oh wait, the game's on Game Pass. Let me just go over there.
Not only that, but people also bought the game to play with their friends that bought it on or that play it on Game Pass, and I think that's the biggest thing right there.
I don't know.
Yeah,
obviously, yeah, 100%. I would not doubt that a lot of people.
And this kind of ties in with the Metacritic user scores right now, all sitting in like the 4.5s range.
Oh, I'll get to Metacritic. Don't worry, I'm gonna get on Metacritic here soon. That shit's I'm about to blow their spot up.
But I mean, it's another avenue to kind of gauge reception, like audience reception. And on every single platform, Xbox, PC, PlayStation, it's all sitting around the same spot. Do you think that kind of a user reception can be turned around and be a success make?
Yeah. I mean,
you've got games like No Man's Sky that have turned around their shit with hard work, obviously.
Yeah,
whether they put in that hard work or not.
You also have games that have totally flopped that were on a good slate, like the Cycle. That game was going decent and then just shut down.
I mean, even in shutdowns, like they just shut down Gunfire Reborn, I think, or Gunfire or something or whatever else. Like that game got shut down.
That game got shut down?
Yeah. Yeah.
It
was in the news. I'm pretty sure it's Gunfire Reborn. Huh?
The roguelike?
No, not Gunfire, Gundam Reborn, sorry.
Okay.
Or Gundam Evolution. Gundam Evolution.
Thank you. Get your shit right, Sin.
Sorry, someone in chat said Gunfire Reborn. So I went there. Anyway, Gundam Evolution, you got shut down. I mean, yes, you see these games shut down, right? They're expensive to run. If they don't make enough money, like they're not gonna keep it going. I think this game will be sustainable in its own right for a while? Will it, is it going to have a massive, like, is it going to be the next thing? No. Is it going to be,
No.
Can it survive? I think Capcom will keep it alive on like life support for a little while, to do its thing and whatever else, or maybe they put a bunch of money into it. I have no idea. But like I said, I mean, I know that their roadmap they already had out there was pretty big, and I think that if they have a user base of 5,000 people, 6,000 people playing it, they're going to look at it and go, cool, we're good. Like,
It's a success.
yeah, it's a success. So.
Fair enough.
Thank you for checking out the patch notes. If you enjoyed this small selection from our podcast, come join us every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the full unfiltered pre-patch podcast. And check out our past shows on anchor.fm/prepatch podcast.